Glad to have you along for the ride. Lance is in the studio. I'm Richard Cross. We're broadcasting live from right outside the Golden Moon, part of Pearl River Resort, for the Mississippi Farm Bureau Feeding the Hungry fundraiser. And I'm joined now by my good friend, Henry Hamill. We have known each other for quite some time now. He's over sales at Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Companies, and it's always good to see you.
I appreciate you being here, Richard. I mean, we're really looking forward
now,
to it.
Now, you can't get on here and be shy and be quiet. That's just not your personality.
You know, that's true.
That is true. This event, this is unique. It's first annual, right?
First annual, inaugural, whatever your daughter-in-law makes you call it. We had that long argument. But anyway, I didn't major in English, so, it is what it is.
Inaugural event, but you're planning to keep on doing it.
But I wanted everybody to know it's going to be an annual. So, anyway, it will be an annual event. We're really, really looking forward to it. It's already been great so far. And I'm really excited about getting all the cooking teams in here. They're going to be coming in between really till about 10 o'clock before we have our teams meeting with the judges and all. And so you're going to see a lot of smoke. You're going to see a lot of people. I think everybody I talk to is like, hey, I'm coming. I'm like, all right, dude, be ready.
Good.
So we're going to have a great time. It's going to be a great event. We've already raised a lot of money for it, and we're really through with that in a way. But if anybody wants to go by a county office and make a donation to the Farm Bureau Foundation that's going to go to the Feeding the Hungry around Mississippi, then they're more than welcome to do that, and they'll get it to us. But,
why the Mississippi Food Network? Why? I mean, you told me last night, we were visiting a little bit, that you and Mike McCormick got together and said, we need to do something through the foundation for the state of Mississippi. Why is this what you landed on?
Well, we've actually been partners with them a long time. And I remember back during COVID, we gave them a lot of money just because there was so much need at the time. And it's just really a perfect partnership. We've got, Farm Bureau is feeding. Mississippi is feeding America, and there's nothing more important than taking care of our people. And so why not raise money to feed the hungry, and you use Mississippi Food Network because they're a network that does distribute to all the small, food banks around the state. And it was one way of us to giving one person the money, knowing it's going to be taken care of, it's going to be distributed to where it needs to go. And you've seen, how much food they distribute. It's incredible on a daily basis. I had no idea, how much was done like that.
And one of the things that's fascinating to me about Mississippi Food Network, and we're going to talk about this a little bit with Cass Mobley and Stacey Jordan coming up a little bit later. It's one thing to say, we're going to get food to those who need it. It's another thing to say, logistically, this is how we are going to pull this off, from a distribution center to getting it to all of the food pantries, all of the soup kitchens in all 82 counties in the state of Mississippi.
And that's really why we decided on the Food Network, because originally, years ago, when Mike and I and others were talking about it, we wanted to do something. We wanted to give back. We wanted to help feed people. And so, at first we just started looking at local food banks, and then you didn't want to leave anybody out, and this one did this, and this one did that, and this one did this. And we just finally realized that the Food Network was the best way to do it, and they do a phenomenal job, and we just can't be more proud of what they do and our partnership with them and being able to help them, by raising money and taking care of our people. So,
when did Farm Bureau has a long time as a home in Mississippi, right? When did it start? And I don't mean specifically the year, but 100 years?
It is just over 100 years old.
That's right. Celebrated the 100-year birthday of Farm Bureau just a couple of years ago.
And a lot of people don't realize that the organization was here long before the insurance company. And so, of course, I work for the insurance company, but I'm absolutely a huge part of the federation too. And they do such great things, and always have. And way back to 100+ years ago, to just taking care of people. They started as an organization to help farmers and to help support agriculture and all. And then at some point, farmers couldn't get insurance, and so they started the Farm Bureau insurance companies and around the states. And then, Mississippi did one, and then that's who we are today. As far as what I do, and it's just a great organization to be a part of. And people don't realize that the organization was here long before the insurance company, because so many people have insurance with us, and we're proud of that, of course. But they do a lot around the state.
I think sometimes people hear Farm Bureau and they immediately think insurance, because that's maybe the billboard, right? That's kind of what grabs your attention. But the Federation, explain the the delineation between the two, but also how the two work together or in conjunction?
Well, everybody that has insurance with us is a member. Remember, we have active members, we have associate members, and our active members are our farmers that are, active in the community, active in the Farm Bureau system and all that, and on a county basis. All of our counties have local boards.
So am I an associate member or an active member?
Unless you start planting something, I think I got you down as associate.
Okay.
Richard, but
I planted some hydrangea a couple of weeks ago.
If you do some things, we'll make you active. But
there's no shame in being an associate member.
No, that's that's the majority of what we have. So, but it's an organization that has representation in every county. Every county has a board. So we got 82 counties with 82 boards that are active in the local community, and then you have, the local state federation that Mr. McCormick is president of too. That's real active on the state level too. So they all work together. We all work hand in hand for one common goal, and that's taking care of our people and supporting agriculture, in the state and the nation. I mean, this is not just a Mississippi thing. There's an American Farm Bureau that we're a part of too. So it goes all the way to Washington D.C. and we do everything we can to help people.
There was a pretty significant flashpoint for Farm Bureau on the insurance company side when Hurricane Katrina hit.
Yeah, almost 20 years ago, August 29th. I remember like it was yesterday. And, that's, when you think back on our history of our company and the Hamills and the Katrinas and those big events that happened, that was an opportunity for us to shine, And a lot of people don't realize, what all we did during that time. It was tough. But we had so many people, so much need, so much damage and all. And we were the company that wasn't getting a bad rap because we were taking care of our people.
Right.
Where a lot of companies were getting a bad rap, and so it gives us, you hate that things happen, but it gives us an opportunity to show why we made a promise to you that, hey, you take our policy to us, we're going to take care of you. And that's what people don't realize is, number one, you get what you pay for. So if you want cheap insurance, guess what? You're going to get cheap service. You're going to get cheap support when the claims comes available. You want a company that's going to be there, number one, come on their promise, and take care of you when something happens. Simple as that. So, we love that, and we'll always do that. It's not a matter about making money. It's a matter about taking care of our people.
Sure.
So,
which you have to make money to run the company, right? I mean, there's money that has to come in to be able to pay claims. I had a friend who, his dad in another state was in the insurance business for a long time, and I guess there are a couple of things. People say you hate paying for insurance right up until the point that you need it. And then you're really glad that you have invested in that. But said for an agent, the most rewarding part of the business is when you walk into a family that has lost something significant, whether that is their home or an automobile or a life. Right. If you're talking about life insurance, and you say, this can never bring back your loved one, but it's going to help make things easier, and you're able to hand that check to them. You've had that experience.
I've had it several times, unfortunately. And, as an agent for 21 years, you've had it too often, actually. And it really does. It really does, drive home the reason.
Because it lifts a weight, right?
It proves to yourself you're doing what you're supposed to do. You care. So, it is special. It really is.
Visiting with Henry Hamill. He is Vice President of Sales for Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Companies, Casualty Company. And one of the unique things, and you were talking about it a second ago to me about Farm Bureau, is every single county has a Farm Bureau office.
That's true. Sharkey is the queen. I do share one, so there's really 81, but they have 82 boards. But we've got more than 112 offices around the state, and every county does have representation, and it's great because our distribution system touches all counties. We don't just have an office in the metro area where there's got so much population or something.
Right.
We're taking care of everybody in Mississippi. We're not just singling out the big metropolitan areas or something like that, like so many of our competition does.
And overwhelmingly, your agents are involved in the community. I mean, I've said this for years. If you've got a Farm Bureau agent, you bump into them at the grocery store or at church or grabbing lunch or, at the ballpark. They're part of the community.
Absolutely. We promote ourselves as a home team. I kind of put us in that motto back when I took over in 2011. And the reason I did is because as an agent, you're involved in everything. I mean, you know everybody. You're involved in everything. You're coaching the kids, baseball teams, football teams. You're cooking for people. You're doing things, and that's what we pride ourselves on. We're going to be out there in the community. I don't want my people sitting around the office waiting on somebody to come in. I want them out there seeing people, meeting people, building relationships, and things so that, hey, when something goes, they knew to call, and we're different. We are. We're different. We're not like our competition, and we don't want to be like our competition, to be honest with you. So anyway, it's special to be a Farm Bureau agent. I'm proud of every one of them.
Go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. It's the Mississippi Farm Bureau Feeding the Hunger fundraiser. Thanks so much for coming by, Henry.
I appreciate you, Richard. We're gonna have fun today, so be ready
Big day.
to eat some ribs, chicken, crawfish, and whatever else you want.
There you go.
All right, buddy.